Hi everyone, welcome into this week's my weekly CBS Fix. I hope you had a wonderful week. So in this week's Parsha is Balak. The king Balak, the king of Moab, hired Bilam, the non-Jewish prophet, to go ahead and curse the Jewish people. So unfortunately for us, Bilam was on his way and he was traveling on his donkey, and unbeknownst to this non-Jewish prophet, there was an angel of Hashem that appeared in front of him. And he couldn't see this angel, but his donkey was able to see him. His donkey was a little afraid. So he veered to the left, veered to the right, and Bilam kicks his donkey. Says, let's go, move it. What? There's no traffic in front of us. Do you see a stop sign anywhere? What are you stopping here for? But the angel was actually there for Bilam's sake, to make sure he didn't go ahead and try to curse the Jewish people. Finally, the angel himself appeared to Bilam, and the angel said to him, hey, what are you kicking your donkey for? And we learn from over here a Torah prohibition that a person is not allowed to cause harm to an animal. Now, there are Jewish laws regarding harm to an animal that even T.E.T.A has no connection to. I don't know if you know what T.E.T.A is. T.E.T.A is an organization. T.E.T.A stands for People for Eating Tasty Animals. People for the ethical treatment of animals. Now, the question, of course, is what is considered the ethical treatment of animals? For example, there's a Torah law that before a person eats, he must feed his animals first. I don't think T.E.T.A is that careful. So what is ethical? How do we know that's of course a different subject? We should get into that. But from over here, we see that a person cannot treat his animal. Now, the general rule is don't treat don't harm an animal for no reason other than just for nothing. A person can only harm an animal if it's for man's benefit. Again, this is slightly bigger discussion, but if a person needs to eat meat, it would be permitted to kill the animal. If a person needs a hide, it would be permitted to kill the animal. If there's different experiments that are being done to benefit mankind, also would be permitted. But just to go ahead and step on animals or kick animals, that a person is not allowed to do. Over here, we're going to contrast Bilam, who was the non-Jewish prophet, to Moses, who was a Jewish prophet. Now, one of the qualities that Moses had and King David had when they were shepherds of animals. And as we've mentioned before, the reason that they chose this profession is specifically because they wanted to be great people and they wanted to be leaders. And they taught themselves that if they be able to care for a sheep, then how much more so would they be able to care about the feelings of human beings? It was a stepping stone for them to go to the next level. But Bilam missed that, because if Bilam is trying to be a great prophet, a great person, you can't hit or kick the actual thing that you're training on, which is the animal itself. So if you're going to kick an animal or kill an animal or abuse an animal, so you can't take care of other people because you're ruining your own insides. You're ruining yourself. You're shooting the training animal. So it's very, very important for us to realize that the end goal is always mankind. People are we always have to be careful with each other's feelings. The animal is put there, or sometimes we've seen before, the stone that Moses hit, or the water that Moses wasn't allowed to hit, because he had to have thanks towards the water. It wasn't for the water's sake per se, it was for Moses' sake per se, that if he won't even hit the water that saved his life, so he certainly won't hit a human being. But for Bilam to go ahead and kick the animal, that was obviously, there was something spoiled within Bilam himself that made him the wicked king, that made him a wicked prophet that he was. Much bigger subject, we should definitely go into it. But what I want you to walk away is, there's times, certainly the general rule is don't harm an animal. But if it can benefit mankind, we have complete permission from the Torah to do so. Have a great Shabbos. Thank you for listening.